The city never slept. Zarkin Prime pulsed beneath a thick canopy of rain-soaked neon, the air heavy with the stench of machinery and decay. Towering arcologies scraped the smog-choked sky, their windows glowing like watchful eyes. Below, alleys twisted like veins, crammed with shadows where deals were made and lives were snuffed out. Elara Voss moved through the chaos like a ghost with purpose. Her boots clicked softly against the cracked concrete, muffled by the relentless drizzle. The city had a rhythm, a heartbeat, but it was a stuttering, anxious one, controlled by unseen hands that thrived on fear. Elara didn't belong here. Yet she'd carved a space in this underworld, known only by whispers, the human executioner. She paused at the edge of a grimy alley, eyes scanning. A figure stepped forward, Jax, a courier tied to one of Varek Thal's smaller syndicates. Elara's gaze was ice-cold, expression unreadable. No words were exchanged before she moved, fast and precise. A flick of her wrist, a blade flashing in the dim light, and Jax crumpled silently. No loose ends, Elara muttered under her breath, wiping the blade on his sleeve. The alley swallowed the faint echo of his fall. Nearby, a flickering holohead blared propaganda. Order and strength through Varek's vision. Elara's lips twitched. Strength, maybe? Order, for those who bowed. She slipped away before anyone noticed. Memories clawed at her mind, visions she buried deep but never escaped. The day the syndicates tore through her homeworld, razing it to ashes while her family was slaughtered without mercy. Varek Thal's name was etched into that nightmare like a brand. The crime lord's empire thrived on terror, his hands stained with blood from countless systems. Elara's mission was clear. She wasn't just a killer for hire. She was justice sharpened to a blade, the reckoning the galaxy desperately needed. A small datapad buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out, eyes narrowing at the encrypted message. Coordinates. A meeting. Her next step. Before she moved, a voice crackled from a nearby terminal. Executioner spotted near Docking Bay 14. A patrolman reported. I repeat, executioner near Docking Bay 14. Elara melted into the shadows, pulse steady. Her reputation was a double-edged sword, feared by foes, hunted by every enforcer Varek could spare. But she was always 2 steps ahead. The city's sprawling spaceport came into view, humming with freight ships and mercenary transports. Docking Bay 14 was a hive of whispered deals and dangerous secrets. Elara's contact, a tech specialist known only as Cade, was waiting in a narrow corridor lined with shipping crates. Late, Cade grinned, fingers dancing over a portable console. Thought you'd been caught already. Elara's dry smile was quick, no warmth. Wouldn't be much of an executioner if I got caught. Cade handed over a data chip. This contains info on Varek's latest operations, routes, safe houses, and his inner circle. The guy's paranoid, tightening his grip. You're stirring the hornet's nest. Elara's gaze hardened. Good. Hornets sting. As they spoke, a low hum filled the air. Security drones swept past, scanners probing for intruders. Cade tensed. You're playing a dangerous game. One wrong move and you'll be a corpse in the gutter. Then I'll make sure my moves are deadly. Elara replied. The two parted without ceremony. Elara tucked the chip away and melted back into the labyrinth of the port. Hours later, high above the city in a penthouse overlooking the sprawling chaos, Varek Thal observed the web of his empire through a cascade of holographic displays. His sharp eyes tracked the flickering data points, smugglers, assassins, informants, all pieces on his galactic chessboard. His voice was calm but edged with menace. Find her. The human executioner. No mistakes. His lieutenant, a heavily augmented mercenary named Sarn, nodded. We've deployed new hunters, Lord Thal. She won't slip through this time. Varek's lips curled into a faint, cruel smile. Let her come. The storm will break, and I will be the eye. Back in the city's depths, Elara reviewed the data chip. Varek's empire was vast, but cracks were beginning to show, rival factions whispered of revolt, old alliances fraying. The crime lord's fear of her was real. A notification blinked, an encrypted message from an unknown source. Trust no one. Not even Cade. Alara's fingers tightened around the datapad. Betrayal was the last thing she needed. Her phone buzzed again. A secure channel opened, voice low and urgent. Alara, it's Kane. You're walking into a trap. Varex's forces are closing in. Then I'll have to make sure they don't live to regret it, she replied. The line went dead. Rain hammered the city as Alara vanished into the night. The game had begun. The galactic crime lords ruled without fear, until the human executioner arrived. Alara kept to the shadows, her presence a flicker beneath the harsh glow of Zarkin Prime's industrial sprawl. The city's pulse quickened around her, the constant hum of machines, the clatter of boots on metal catwalks, the low murmur of mercenaries counting credits and weapons. This was a place where trust was currency in perpetual deficit. Her destination, a forgotten warehouse in Dock Sector 7, home to one of Varek Thal's vital smuggling rings. Disrupting this operation would choke his supply lines, rattling his network. But she needed something more, an edge to peel back the layers of the crime lord's defenses. Move in, came a voice from a crackling comm channel. Cade's. He was feeding her security layouts, guard shifts, and blind spots. Alara's fingers brushed the edge of her tactical vest, checking her compact pulse rifle. Precision mattered more than brute force. The rusted metal door groaned as Alara slipped inside. The warehouse smelled of oil and sweat, the air thick with tension. Figures moved among crates stamped with interdicted goods, weapons, bio-augment kits, encrypted comm devices. Men who thought they were untouchable. Her eyes adjusted to the gloom. The smuggling captain, a burly alien known as Rax, barked orders near a hovering cargo loader. Alara recognized him from the data chip, a crucial node in Varek's operation. She tapped her comm. Ready on your mark. Go, Cade replied. Alara advanced silently, muscles coiled like a spring. She dispatched 2 guards with surgical efficiency, silent, clean kills that left no time for alarms. The remaining thugs spun toward the source of the chaos, startled by the sudden carnage. Who's out here? Rax growled. Alara stepped into the flickering light, weapon raised. On the reckoning you weren't prepared for. The fight exploded. Blaster bolts tore through the air, crates splintering as Alara moved with lethal grace. She ducked behind cover, returned fire, each shot calculated and true. Rax charged, his bulk moving like a wrecking ball, but Alara sidestepped, using his momentum to slam him into a steel beam. Too slow, she whispered. Rax hit the ground with a grunt, unconscious but alive, enough for interrogation. Her comm buzzed. Extraction point compromised, Cade warned. More enforcers incoming. Alara retrieved a compact stun device and knelt beside Rax. Talk. Who's the next link? Rax coughed, eyes flickering open. Varek's lieutenant. Sarn. He's the real muscle. Controls security for the fortress. No one gets past him. Where? She demanded. In the Iron Spire. East Sector. Good to know. She rose swiftly as footsteps thundered closer. The warehouse filled with heavily armed reinforcements. Alara ducked into a narrow vent, the sounds of pursuit close behind. Her heart pounded, but her mind stayed sharp. Survival was never luck, it was preparation and instinct. Cade's voice was tense. They're cutting off your exit routes. You'll have to find another way. Alara paused at a junction deep in the vents, weighing options. Backtracking risked capture. Forward meant unknown dangers. Forward, she decided, pressing on. The air grew stale and mechanical hums echoed as she crawled deeper. Suddenly, the vent opened into a control room, a nerve center for the smuggling ring. Consoles blinked with streams of data, shipment manifests, encrypted messages, security logs. Alara plugged in a data spike, fingers dancing across the interface. Hacking was Cade's domain, but she could hold her own when needed. Files decrypted revealing a startling truth. Varek was building an army of augmented mercenaries, blending biotech and cybernetic enhancements beyond legal limits. "Cade, you seeing this?" she whispered into her comm. "Yeah." His voice was grim. "He's amassing an unstoppable force. This changes everything." Before she could respond, alarms blared. Automated turrets swiveled into position. "Got company," Elara muttered, sliding behind a console. The first volley of energy blasts shredded the control panel where she'd plugged in. Sparks flew. She rolled out, firing back and smashing the turret's power supply with a compact plasma knife. The warehouse's upper levels shook as reinforcements closed in. Elara's window was closing. "Cade, extract me now," she commanded. "On it," he answered. Minutes stretched thin. Elara's mind raced through escape routes mapped earlier. She found a maintenance hatch and slipped through, emerging on the rooftop as rain began to fall again. Below, she spotted Varex's mercenaries sweeping the ground floor, frustrated by her disappearance. She was exposed, alone, and hunted. A message flashed on her visor. "Unknown sender. Asterisk. You're playing a dangerous game, Executioner. This isn't just about revenge anymore. It's a war you may not survive." Asterisk. Elara's jaw clenched. Whoever sent that was right. The deeper she dug, the more the stakes escalated. She ignored the warning, focusing on the next step, Sarn. Taking him out meant dismantling Varex's security backbone. That night, in a dim bar tucked away from prying eyes, Elara met Kane, an informant who owed her a favor. He slid her a data pad thick with encrypted details about Sarn's routines and fortifications. "Careful," Kane said, eyes darting nervously. "Sarn isn't just muscle, he's ruthless and paranoid. If he suspects you, it's over." Elara nodded. "I don't plan on giving him a chance." Before she left, Kane added, "And watch your back, Executioner. There's talk of a mole in your circle. Trust no one." Elara's mind flickered back to Cade's warning. Was the betrayal closer than she thought? Her fingers curled into a fist as she stepped back into the rain-soaked streets. The web was tightening, and every thread could snap under the weight of deception. But Elara Voss was no stranger to danger. Every step forward was a strike against a galaxy suffocating beneath fear. And she intended to cut that grip loose, one target at a time. The iron spire loomed like a jagged tooth against the starless sky, its steel facade etched with scars from countless battles. Elara stood at its base, eyes tracing the fortress's towering height. This was Varek Thal's stronghold, the heart of his dominion. Inside waited Sarn, the lieutenant whose ruthless grip kept the fortress impenetrable. No room for mistakes. She activated her calm, voice low. "Cade, status? Security systems are online but scrambled. I managed to hack some internal schematics. There's a maintenance shaft on the east wing that leads directly to the control hub. It's your best shot." Elara nodded, pocketing the data. "I'll make it count." Slipping through the shadows, she avoided patrols, her movements precise and deliberate. The fortress wasn't just fortified with guards, it was riddled with surveillance, automated turrets, and biometric locks. Every step forward was a negotiation with death. Inside, corridors echoed with the distant hum of machinery and the occasional radio chatter between guards. Elara's breath was steady, her senses sharp. The prize wasn't just eliminating Sarn, it was unraveling the fortress's defenses and crippling Varek's command. She reached the maintenance shaft. The panel resisted at first, but a few quick overrides from her wrist device gave way. The narrow crawlspace was suffocating, walls slick with condensation. One wrong move, one slip, and the mission would end here. Minutes felt like hours. Emerging near the control hub, Elara crouched behind a console. Screens flickered with security feeds and command logs. She began scanning files rapidly, fingers flying over the interface. Patterns emerged, troop movements, weapon allocations, hidden corridors. Suddenly, a voice crackled over her calm, Sarn's unmistakable tone. "You think you can walk through my fortress and get away with it?" Elara's heart skipped. They'd found her sooner than expected. "Nice to hear you, Sarn." she replied, voice steady despite the adrenaline. I'm here to stop your chaos. Then come out and face me. Let's see if the human executioner is as deadly as the legends say. The challenge was clear. Elara weighed her options: fight here and risk exposure, or draw him into a controlled environment. She chose the latter. Fine, she answered. Meet me in the armory. 10 minutes. The armory was a labyrinth of weapon racks, ammo crates, and reinforced bulkheads. Elara positioned herself behind cover, weapons ready. Time passed with agonizing slowness. Then, the heavy footsteps. Sarn appeared, towering and brutal. His cybernetic implants glinted under the harsh lights, each movement calculated menace. Your reputation precedes you, Sarn growled. But it won't save you. Elara steadied her pulse rifle. Neither will your brute strength. They clashed, metal against metal, a brutal dance of skill and power. Sarn's enhancements gave him raw force, but Elara's agility and training matched him blow for blow. Blaster shots echoed. She dodged, rolled, and fired with unerring precision. Why do you fight so hard, human? Sarn spat during a momentary break. For every innocent you've killed, Elara answered. For every life crushed under Varek's rule. His eyes narrowed. Your vendetta blinds you. You're just another weapon. Maybe, she said, but I'm one that doesn't stop. The fight escalated until Elara found an opening, a precise strike to Sarn's power conduit. Sparks flew, the mercenary staggered, his systems failing. She pressed her pistol to his temple. Talk. Breathing heavily, Sarn snarled but complied. Varek isn't just a crime lord, he hissed. He's building an army of hybrids, soldiers augmented with forbidden biotech. They'll make the galaxy tremble. Elara's mind raced. She'd glimpsed that in the data. This was bigger than simple revenge. Where? She demanded. In the underground labs beneath the Iron Spire. Before Sarn could say more, alarms blared, echoing through the corridors. They're on to us, Elara said. Stay quiet or you're dead. Securing Sarn, she hacked a nearby terminal, overriding lockdown protocols to clear a path. Extraction point? She asked Cade. South exit. Heavy guards but manageable. They moved swiftly, Elara supporting the wounded lieutenant. Every corner concealed danger. Varek's reinforcements flooded the hallways, relentless and brutal. At a crossroads, Kane's voice buzzed in her ear. Elara, new intel. Varek sent a squad of elite assassins your way. They're faster than usual. Thanks for the warning. Her grip tightened on her rifle. I'll deal with them. The corridor erupted in a hail of energy bolts. Elara ducked, fired, and maneuvered with lethal efficiency. The assassins were skilled but underestimated her resolve. One by one they fell. Breathing hard, Elara reached the south exit. The night air hit her like a wave, cold and sharp. Cade, did you arrange transport? Encrypted shuttle inbound. ETA 2 minutes. Elara glanced at Sarn, whose systems were stabilizing. His eyes met hers, grudging respect flashing. You're more than a weapon, he muttered. Don't thank me yet. The shuttle touched down, engines humming beneath the neon sky. Elara and Sarn boarded quickly. As they lifted away, she gazed back at the Iron Spire, its silhouette swallowing the stars. A new war was unfolding, one that required more than bullets and blades. Cade, what's the fallout from this? Varek shaken. Losing Sarn and the lab data will cripple his control, for now. Elara's jaw set. It's only the beginning. Kane's warning echoed, trust no one. Her mind circled back to Cade and the encrypted messages. A mole in her midst was more than a threat, it was a potential death sentence. She sat silently, plotting her next move. The game was no longer about vengeance. It was survival. And Elara Voss was prepared to pay any price. The fortress was a steel wound in the night, its defenses humming with lethal intent. Elara's shuttle cut through the black sky, skimming past surveillance drones that blinked with cold light. This was the moment, the final strike against Varek Thal's empire. She stood at the airlock, weapon ready, heart steady. No fear. Just purpose. Last chance? Cade's voice crackled in her ear. Reconsider? Alara's reply was a whisper. No turning back. Inside the fortress, every step was a battle. Automated sentries fired bolts of searing plasma. Security grids shimmered with energy. Alara navigated the chaos with a predator's grace, each movement measured, every breath controlled. She reached the command center, the nerve of Varek's operations. Screens flickered, showing troop deployments, black market deals, the pulse of a criminal empire teetering on collapse. And there he was. Varek Thal sat behind a massive console, eyes sharp beneath a crown of silver hair. His expression was calm, too calm for a man facing the executioner. Alara Vos, he said, voice smooth as silk. I wondered when you'd come. She stepped forward, rifle raised but not firing. Your reign ends tonight. Varek smiled, a predator amused. Is that what you believe? That killing me will free this galaxy? You're naive. Fear runs deeper than flesh and bone. Eliminate the fear, and you starve the monster. Her voice was steel. He stood, towering yet regal. I built this empire from chaos. Without me, there's only anarchy. Maybe, she conceded. But it's a chance for something better. They circled, words like blades. You're just a human playing God. Varek sneered. Power will corrupt you too. Alara's gaze hardened. Then I'll face that when it comes. Tonight it's your turn. The fight erupted, explosions shaking the room, echoes of gunfire and clashing steel. Varek was formidable, using enhanced reflexes and combat training that matched Alara's own. The battle was brutal, both calculating their moves with deadly intent. At a critical moment, Varek gained the upper hand, pinning Alara against the console. Give up, he hissed. Join me, and we can rule this galaxy together. Alara spat back. I don't need your throne. She broke free, landing a precise shot that grazed his shoulder. Blood bloomed, but his eyes burned with defiance. They grappled, a struggle not just of bodies but of wills. The fortress trembled as systems overloaded, alarms screaming warnings. Alara's mind raced. Killing Varek would end his tyranny, but at what cost? Would she become the very thing she fought against? Suddenly, Varek faltered, exhaustion shadowing his features. Alara had the choice, finish him or spare him. Her finger hesitated on the trigger. Why hesitate? Varek sneered. Mercy is weakness. No, she said quietly. Mercy is strength. Lowering her weapon, she subdued him with a stun device instead. The fortress went dark as backup systems collapsed. Reinforcements outside faltered, leaderless and confused. Alara status? Cade asked urgently. Varek's down. Fortress compromised, she replied. Initiate lockdown override and send the evidence to the Galactic Council. Minutes later, transmissions buzzed across every screen in the galaxy, files revealing Varek's crimes, corrupt alliances, and biotechnological horrors. In the aftermath, the criminal network fragmented, chaos spreading among the syndicates. But the people whispered of hope, a chance to rebuild. Alara stood on Zarkan Prime's rain-slick streets, watching dawn creep over the city. The battle was over, but the war for justice had only begun. A hand touched her shoulder. Kane's face was grave but respectful. You did what no one else could, he said. What now? Alara's eyes met the rising sun. Now, we fight for a future worth living. The human executioner had arrived. The galaxy would never be the same.